everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Shifty's 49ers Talk. In this video, we're previewing the Week 7 matchup between the San Francisco 49ers and the Kansas City Chiefs. There's a lot to talk about as we lead up and preview this game, so we can't waste any more time. Jump right in. The first thing that I want to talk about is some of the big news leading up to this game. And of course, the 49ers trading for Christian McCaffrey. So the Niners get McCaffrey. We have him under contract through 2025. Well, what did the Niners give up? 2023 second, third, and fourth round pick, and a 2024 fifth round pick. So next year's draft, it's going to be hopefully hitting on those mid-rounders, and that's kind of where we know John Lynch, Adam Peters, the scouting department, that's where they're in their element. But let's get back to this. So Christian McCaffrey now with the 49ers. He's flying out. I'm going to be in California on Friday, which will be tomorrow. And it's going to be really, really interesting to see whether or not McCaffrey will play on Sunday. I'm a little bit iffy on it. You know, here's the thing. With running backs, it's very, very easy for running backs to kind of it's much easier for running backs to get acclimated to teams quickly. And here's the thing, when you look at the Cardinals, so the Cardinals traded for Robbie Anderson on Sunday night, and then Robbie Anderson did play tonight on Thursday Night Football. With McCaffrey, you think that they'll probably hand him the ball a few times. Maybe he'll run out and run a couple of routes, something really simple and easy. But I do think that McCaffrey will be out there on Sunday, although I don't think we'll really see what McCaffrey can do in this offense until after the bye week. Now, other big news, a lot of guys coming back healthy, so that's excellent news for the 49ers. You have Nick Bosa practicing, that's huge. Trent Williams practicing, that's big. Those are our best two players, and they're both practicing, looking like they're going to be playing Sunday, so that's awesome to see. Jason Verrett, full go at practice as well, and we really need help at cornerback, so we love hearing that. Talanoa Hufanga's been practicing, Samson Ebukam has been practicing, so all of that's really, really great. Even Jimmy Ward might play on Sunday. The one really iffy one is going to be Mooney Ward. Will he go Sunday? He hasn't practiced this week so far, so you kind of have to lean towards no, but let's not rule him out officially simply because we know how much he'll want to go against his former team. Now, let's move on to how both of these teams, the 49ers and the Kansas City Chiefs, performed last week. So, of course, the Niners really brutal loss to the Atlanta Falcons, 28-14. Pretty much from the get-go, the game really got away from the 49ers. The Falcons, great game plan, executed it well, went down and scored a touchdown. We fumble, return for a touchdown. Bam, we're down 14. We managed to tie it up, and then we just can't really stop the Falcons, and we don't score after that as well. So we lose 28-14. Kansas City Chiefs, on the other hand, at home, lose to the Buffalo Bills, and there's absolutely no shame in losing to the Buffalo Bills. They are the number one team in the NFL right now, in my opinion, and I think a lot of other people's too. But they lose 24-20 to the Buffalo Bills. Mahomes didn't always look like himself in that game. A couple of interceptions. One of them, the first one, wasn't really his fault. Great play by the Bills, Kaiir Elam. But overall, Chiefs are definitely looking to bounce back and get a win. But hold on, the 49ers are too. We just got basically embarrassed by the Atlanta Falcons. So this Niner team is going to be ready to go and ready to get a big, big win on Sunday with the 2012 49ers going to be in attendance, Jim Harbaugh and all the legends of that team. So that's going to be a great little boost as well for the team. But let's now move on to the next part of the video, and we're going to move on to the 5 key matchups in this Week 7 game. First matchup we have to talk about, and I was going to zero in on a certain player here, but I just thought everything is so important with this. 49ers offensive line versus the Chiefs defensive line. Jake Brendel didn't play well at all against Atlanta. Huge challenge this week against Chris Jones after playing Grady Jarrett last week, so hopefully Jake Brendel can have a better game. Banks has been really solid, so has Burford. Getting Trent Williams back, and also Mike McGlinchey is practicing too. So that's really great news to hear because they have some really good players on the outside. Rookie George Karlaftis has been pretty good, but Frank Clark, man, that guy can absolutely wreck an offensive game plan. He can take over games. He is really good. So having McGlinchey, and of course Trent Williams out there really helps out the 49ers. In this one, it's pretty close here. I might have to give the slight edge to the Kansas City Chiefs defensive line, but Trent Williams is arguably the best player in football, so you like that for the 49ers. Now moving on to the next big matchup in this game, and it's going to be Deebo Samuel really against the Kansas City Chiefs secondary. I'm looking at L'Jarius Sneed. Trent McDuffie is looking like he is going to play too. This is a game that you really want Deebo to basically similar to the game against the Rams. Our backs were somewhat against the wall in that game. They're kind of against the wall leading up to this game, and that's when you expect Deebo to have his big games. If we can get those really nice matchups, and it's going to help now with a guy like Christian McCaffrey, who might even be out there just as a decoy, but maybe you get Deebo on those one-on-one matchups. He catches the ball, breaks a tackle, bam, he is gone. So I think with this one, you have to give the edge to Deebo Samuel in this matchup, but it's going to be really interesting to see how the Chiefs play it. They have some really solid defensive backs. Their defensive line is really good, so we're going to have to get rid of the ball pretty quickly. Moving on to the third big matchup in this game, it's going to be the Niners' interior defensive line. No Armstead, no Kinlaw. So it's going to be Hassan Ridgeway, Kevin Givens, Akeem Spence up against the Chiefs' interior offensive line, which is pretty damn good. Joe Thuney, Creed Humphrey, Trey Smith. Thuney, great veteran. He's been around for a long time. Excellent player. Creed Humphrey, really young, great center, one of the best centers in the NFL. Trey Smith, also a really young player, but he's coming on strongly. He's a big guy. You absolutely have to give the edge here to Kansas City when you look at this particular matchup. But Ridgeway, Givens, and Spence will have to try and do a much better job at holding their own in the run game, because we all know Kansas City, not only can they throw the ball excellent with Patrick Mahomes, but they can run the ball too with Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Jerick McKinnon, the former 49er. Niners need to shut down the Chiefs' running game. Now let's move after that, and we're going to look at some of the defensive ends for the 49ers. In particular, I kind of want to focus on the really athletic guys, Samson Ebukam, Drake Jackson, Kimoko Toure. What can they do to limit Mahomes with his mobility? Mahomes is excellent, not only moving in the pocket, but he can kind of break out of the pocket, really extend plays with his legs, not only being able to run the football, but extend it and then just make a miracle throw. But having athletic defensive ends like these guys should really cut down the amount of time that a guy like Mahomes will have to throw. But look, Chiefs have some really decent offensive tackles, so it's not going to be an easy job, especially Orlando Brown at left tackle. Watch out for him because he is a really good player. How will he handle the speed rushers of a guys like Samson Ebukam, Drake Jackson, and of course we'll have Nick Bosa out there as well, which is a big lift for the defense. Last matchup we're going to talk about is going to be Fred Warner or Dre Greenlaw, basically our linebackers up against Travis Kelce. Warner, Greenlaw, both excellent in coverage. If we look at the numbers, when they're targeted this season, Fred Warner, 76.9 quarterback rating for opposing quarterbacks. When they target Dre Greenlaw, 86.6 quarterback rating. So very below average, you'd have to say, when quarterbacks target those guys. Travis Kelce, the best tight end in football. Sorry, George Kittle, I love you, but Travis Kelce is number one, and I think it's pretty clear and it's pretty obvious that he's the best in the game right now. Travis Kelce, I'm just going to call out some of these numbers, and this is in 6 games into the season. 7 touchdowns. He gets he averages 7 catches per game. 32 first downs so far in the year. That's about 6 per game five to 6 per game he's averaging. Then you look at Patrick Mahomes' quarterback rating when he targets Travis Kelce, 142.7. 142.7. Fred Warner, Dre Greenlaw, Hufanga, Gibson Jr., Jimmy Ward, those guys are absolutely going to have their hands full. Jimmy Ward, he'll have his handful going into this game. Can they slow him down? That's going to be a huge question mark. But now you have to you really do have to give the advantage to Travis Kelce. To me, Fred Warner is a very good linebacker. Dre Greenlaw is a good linebacker, but Travis Kelce, he's great. He manages to get open all of the time, and it's going to be really difficult to slow him down. Can the 49ers force Mahomes into some mistakes when throwing the ball to Travis Kelce? That is going to be huge. What we're going to do now is we're going to move on to the 49ers, the 4 keys to winning. After that, we'll finish up the video with my score prediction. Keys to winning this game. Jimmy Garoppolo, number 1, no turnovers. He has to get back to not turning the ball over. We win games when he doesn't turn the ball over. But also, we really have to attack what the defense gives us. And here's the thing. There are one-on-one matchups on the outside, whether it's Debo, whether it's Ayuk, Kittle, whoever the case may be, Danny Gray going deep, we have to attack that. Because here's the thing, what happens when you throw the ball deep. Either your receiver catches it, either it's a pass interference, or it's incomplete, or last but not least, maybe, very unlikely, does it become an interception. So what I want the 49ers to do, and that's if the Chiefs give us those looks. Teams always will try and stop the 49ers run game. And there's very obvious why, because that's what we do best. But if the defense is going to give us those one-on-one matchups on the outside, then we have to be willing to attack it. Now, depending on how much Christian McCaffrey gets sprinkled in with this game plan, probably very little, that could also change and mix up some of the looks that Kansas City will have to give the 49ers. But look, we take what the defense gives us and don't be afraid to attack the Chiefs, because we are going to have to score points in this game. Second point, we have to establish the run. Can we get that Debo run game going? Now, we got a big help here with Christian McCaffrey here. Can he run some plays, get in there, maybe make a big play for the 49ers? Trent Williams back. Mike McGlinchey, who's a very good run blocker, back in the lineup. So that should really help us, but we really will want to establish the run after. So here's what I'm thinking. Initially, early, probably in the first quarter, Chiefs are going to crowd the line of scrimmage. If we can hit a couple of those big plays, then they're going to have to back off. Then we can get McCaffrey some space, Debo some space, Jeff Wilson Jr. some space, Tevin Coleman, whoever. Then we can run the ball, control the clock, because that's what we'll have to do if we want to win the game, limit Kansas City possessions. Next thing that I think is a really, really big one, and something that's maybe flying a little bit under the radar. Can Talanoa Hufanga use his playmaking ability around the line of scrimmage? Favorite play of the season so far, Hufanga pick 6 against the Rams. Where did that happen? Basically at the line of scrimmage. He's going to need to be aggressive, because the Chiefs, they like to run the ball, but not only that, a lot of their passes are quick passes. I'd like to see Hufanga being very aggressive, basically attacking it and forcing the Chiefs to maybe have to rethink what they're doing offensively. Also, don't forget, Hufanga's probably at some point during the game going to be tasked with guarding a guy like Travis Kelce. Can he make some plays? He's been making them all year. Last point, and this is something that we hit on during the matchups, is can our athletic defensive ends, Ebukam, Drake Jackson, Bosa, of course, Kemoko Turay, can they chase down Mahomes and basically not allow him to have those miracle plays where he's running around, throws it up for a 40-yard touchdown? We have to be able to limit those. Can we get after Mahomes? I don't know. It's going to be pretty tough. I'm going to be very interested to see what really D'Amico throws at Patrick Mahomes. It's also really going to depend on if Charvarius Ward can go. Because if Ward can go and you have Verrett and Lenore in the slot, then you can really trust those cornerbacks to hold down the receivers, and you can blitz. But there we go, guys. Really hoping that we can get that edge rush on Patrick Mahomes. Maybe force him into a couple of interceptions like he threw last week. The Buffalo defense and 49ers defense, very, very similar in defensive rankings on the year. So, last part of the video, I'm going to give my predictions. So I tried to be very upbeat, very positive this whole video. I do think there's a number of scenarios where the 49ers can win this game. However, I do have the Chiefs winning, unfortunately. I have the Chiefs winning 31-21. I do think the Chiefs might either get a defensive or a special teams touchdown, and then I think we know Mahomes, he can put up points very quickly. I think the 49ers will keep it very competitive, and then maybe end of the third, fourth quarter, the Chiefs will get away from the Niners. But the week after, we will be going to Levi South against the Rams. McCaffrey will have another week with the team. So the season far from over. Even if we lose this game, guys, The Niners will go to 3-4. Last season we were 3-5, ended up in the NFC Championship game. So let's not lose hope. Let's be faithful. Faithful then, faithful now. I'm going to leave it there, guys, but do drop your thoughts in the comments. Consider liking the video. And if you like the content, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I will, of course, be streaming this game live. Games at 1:25. I'll be going live about 30 minutes or so before kickoff. But I'm going to leave it there. You know, there's two things I'm going to say. The but counts. I'm going to catch you guys on the flip side.